Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. I only want to take a look at the shorter time frame. I assume those of you who are interested in the daily chart, you know what's going on. You might have watched yesterday's video in which I covered extensively the daily time frame. If you're not familiar with it, check out the beginner video playlist on this channel. In the latest Bitcoin video there, I talked about the daily chart in much detail. Now, looking at the shorter time frame then, here the price is still in a very, very fragile looking advance, okay? There's clearly a local uptrend from the 31st of May low. These are very, very difficult structures to deal with because they could literally form a top at any point. It's certainly nothing that would be easy to trade in my opinion. There's just very, very limited upside momentum. Of course, the market could continue to grind higher, but it's just a very, 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 very fragile structure. And I think it's important to be aware of the key levels here. And also what we would need to see, to see form in order to, let's say, believe and confirm that a more substantial low has already formed, for example, here on the 31st of May, and that we're actually on our way to all-time highs, and not only to all-time highs, but possibly directly to my $130,000 to $140,000 target. Now, let us talk about the short-term bearish case first, and then we talk about the short-term bullish case. Again, this is only on the shorter time frame. If something interesting happens, I'll take a look at the daily chart later as well, but yeah, no need today. I think it would be very repetitive, and the videos are all there. So let's take a look at the shorter time frame then. The 30-minute chart suggests that there are two short-term bearish wave counts. I wouldn't even try to distinguish between them right now. It's not important at all. It just shows us there is the potential for a corrective rally here. And that's actually preferred. So I assume this is a corrective rally. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically just a rally, which is a counter trend move, which is correcting the decline, which is a downtrend. So because the markets are not moving in a direct line, every trend, like in this case a downtrend, needs to be corrected. Well, the market needs to recover, needs to breathe, okay? And this would, because the trend is down, this move up would be the counter trend move. And it's typically a three-wave move, characterized by overlapping price action and weak momentum. And that is exactly what we see. We see a slight 45-degree angle, maybe a little less than that even, and overlapping price action everywhere. We have a lot of these overlaps here, yeah, and a very weak upside momentum. Price just can't get off the ground. When it tries to rally, the bears step in. And that's exactly what we see right now. And yeah, I mean, there are two wave counts here. One is that this is a wave 4, but ideally this would have topped already, maybe one more high in yellow wave 4, before we then move down in this wave 5 to potentially 102,511 to 100,657. The other scenario is, it's just a different variation. As I said, we shouldn't really try to distinguish between them, is also this corrective rally, but it might extend a little higher. If it extends maybe to 108,500 or 110K, it's basically too high for a wave 4. In that case, then it's more likely that we're dealing with maybe a B wave here. And in that case, it's an ABC structure, and the C wave is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 waves up. So that means even if we see higher prices, which are absolutely still possible as long as we're printing higher highs, higher lows, the market could just be a B wave rally. It could just be a larger corrective rally, which would then eventually move down. People ask me what comes after A. I did say C. No, after A, sorry. No, need more caffeine. No, what comes after A? Well, that's B. But people ask me what comes after B. Well, it's the C wave. C wave means it's 5 waves down. Okay, so we have here an A wave down. This here would be a B wave up. So yeah, question was recently on X, what happens after B? Yeah, it's C, right? The C wave, and that's obviously continuation into the direction of the trend, which is the A wave. So the B wave is just a counter trend move, and the C wave just continues down. That's not super bearish, just means, hey, we need that 3-wave move completed. So yeah, and that means because of that, either it's the yellow wave 4 or a high B wave, a higher B wave. This is a counter trend move, and I see it that way. So there is a signal, however, that would tell me that, oh, the bulls are really serious. And that would be if from this move a so-called diagonal pattern forms. That's highlighted in orange. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. If we get proper 5 waves like that, then most likely a low has already formed in this wave 2. Then we are going up more directly in a proper 5-wave pattern. And but you know, if we basically we need first of all 3 proper waves to form. And then I need to see a higher low and a higher high. And then people will say, but then the move is already over. Yeah, but it's not about this move. The larger trend is up anyway, right? The overall trend. So I don't need confirmation that the overall trend is up. I need confirmation that we have a more meaningful low here. And that comes with 5 waves. And I would then get a potential pullback trade setup in the next pullback. So when we get 5 waves up, then I can expect the next move down to be corrective in nature, form a higher low, and that is the bullish count. So I'm watching for all of this. There is currently no trade setup in my opinion. Okay, not on this time frame. There's no clear high probability pattern. That's something where people are difficult to understand for some people. There is just no high probability setup. We're moving between support and resistance in a channel, grinding our way higher slowly. I mean, you can trade anything, but just please be aware that this is not really any high probability pattern that would allow for a high probability, high reward to risk entry anywhere. At least not in my book. Okay, so yeah, that's the update on Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. If you're interested in further updates as well, you can check out our X profile. Feel free to join. There's lots of additional stuff. Ask questions. I'll answer questions there. A lot of people ask questions below the YouTube videos. I recommend you do it here because I can't read all the comments, answer to all of them. Best is to do that on X. It's just a better space to do it and engage, and it's better. So feel free to do it. I'll post a link to our X profile in the description. You can get here a lot of additional updates, and yeah, if you're not here, then you're kind of missing out because there's lots of additional behind-the-scenes stuff, mindset stuff, Elliott Wave updates, and much more. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.